to another Thoughts at 3 online assembly.
Yes, hello, my name is Matt and this is Ellie and we are part of the schools team at Southampton City Mission.
Now, you probably know at Southampton City Mission, we love going into schools to do things like assemblies and Question of Faith RV days. We do prayer spaces and transition support. And throughout this last year or so, we've also been bringing you online assemblies.
And in this session, as always, we will be asking you a question. We will be sharing a Bible story with you. We will be setting you a challenge and we will be finishing with a prayer, just like we do when we visit schools.
So today is our final Thoughts at 3 for the term before we take our break over the Easter holidays. So today our topic is, of course, going to be all about Easter.
Do you know, Ellie, it is incredible to think that we have been doing these Thoughts at 3 online assemblies for almost a whole year now, almost a whole year.
I know, it's incredible. You're right, though. Our first online assembly was on the 6th of April, 2020, which was about Palm Sunday after we had made that decision to start doing online assemblies at the beginning of that very first lockdown. And we have kept on going with them throughout the whole of this last year or so.
Yeah, and so our question for you today is, what is something new that you started this time last year, so the beginning of the first lockdown, and then you've kept on doing throughout this strange season? Because, you know, we had never done a live assembly. We'd done it in person in schools, but we had never done it online. We never streamed anything. We never used the technology. We didn't have web cameras, nothing like that. But we thought instead of saying no, we'll pack it all in, we thought we will keep going and we'll do some online assemblies. Little did we know that it would be going on still a year later, Ellie. So anyway, tell us, write in the comments or in the chat and tell us what is something that you started this time last year that was new to you and that you kept on doing throughout this strange season. Now, you might want to pause the video here and think about your answer, discuss your ideas with the people you're with. But whatever you do, we would love to hear your answer. So Ellie, is there something new that you started doing this time last year, which you have kept on doing through the pandemic?
Do you know, I have been trying to do a bit more exercise throughout this pandemic. I tried a few of the Joe Wicks early on, if you remember that. I know you and your family did some as well. And then I tried a few different other online exercise classes. And you know, in this last lockdown, so since January, I have been doing a weekly Zoom dance class. So if you ever walk past my window on a Monday evening, you might see me prancing about. Nice.
I'll remember to do that in the future.
What about you though, Matt? Have you been doing anything for this whole pandemic?
Well, before I tell you what I've been doing, Ellie, would you like to show us a few of those show our audience a few of those dance moves now?
Well, I couldn't possibly show you everything. I would need much more space. But there are certainly a few of these kind of actions with the hands.
Nice. Nice. That's good. I like that. Very good. Well, for me, as I mentioned before, a couple of times, I think I've started painting during this last year. And although that didn't start quite at the beginning of the lockdown, but actually on my birthday in May, thanks to various members of my family buying me lots of art supplies, I've actually kept it going all the way through. And you might have noticed that our art gallery behind me here has been growing. And I finished the picture, which I started a couple of months ago now, and I showed the audience, actually, I showed our viewers when we did our assembly on the 4th commandment earlier on in the beginning of the spring term, which was keep a day special for me. And it's now finished and it's hanging up there proudly. Would you like me to grab it so you can have a closer look at it?
Oh, yes, please. Give us a close-up. I think we did see this part way through, so we'd love to see it.
It's on one of these cool canvas things, and I hadn't done the lettering at that time. But there you go, that's the finished one. Come to the water of life. And you can see lots of little people standing along the top of the waterfall there, and all the lettering's finished and everything. So yeah, quite pleased with that.
I am very impressed with that. Well done. I like that a lot. So do let us know if you've been taking on anything over this last year that you have continued. But I think for now, it is time for our Bible story.
Yes, and because this is an Easter special, it makes sense that we tell you the Easter story. And one of our favorite ways in which that story is told particularly is through the Saddleback Kids Stories version. So we are going to watch that now.
Stories of the Bible. Jesus' sacrifice. This is Jesus,
Heyo!
who is the Son of God and the Savior of the world. While Jesus was on earth, he taught everyone about God's love and healed people from their sickness. He did many miracles like calming storms and even raised people from the dead.
Wahoo!
The Jewish leaders and teachers did not like what Jesus was doing or how he claimed to be the Son of God. And so they made a plan to arrest him to get rid of him once and for all. Judas, one of Jesus' disciples, agreed to betray Jesus
Come in.
and give him over to the religious leaders for some money. Jesus was in a garden praying, and Judas showed the man who Jesus was. Jesus was arrested and taken to the rulers of the land so that they could decide what to do with him. Jesus was presented before the high council, and they asked him if he was the Messiah, the Savior of the Jews. They asked him if he was claiming to be the Son of God. "You say that I am." And the council was furious, and they shouted that Jesus was guilty and he deserves to die. So they took Jesus before the Roman ruler Pilate, and he heard the case against Jesus. Pilate didn't think that Jesus had done anything wrong.
Seems okay to me.
They found him to be innocent, so Pilate said that he would punish Jesus and then release him.
What?
But the crowd kept screaming louder and louder, "Crucify him! We want him dead!" And because of the pressure of the crowd, Pilate turned Jesus over to the Roman soldiers to be crucified. Jesus was hurt and spit on. His clothes were torn and taken from him, and a crown made out of thorns was put on his head. He was beaten so badly that he could barely stand on his own. And then he was forced to carry his cross so far up a mountain that he needed help because he could not do it on his own. Once Jesus made it to the place where he would be crucified, called the Skull, the soldiers around him nailed him to the cross and waited for him to die. While Jesus was hanging on the cross, many people shouted to him, "If you really are the Son of God, save yourself from the cross." But Jesus knew he had to die to forgive his people for their sins. At noon, darkness fell across the whole land. 3 hours later, Jesus took his last breath and finally died. At that very moment, the curtain in the temple that separated the priests from God's holy place tore in two. A soldier watching the whole thing said, "This man truly was the Son of God." Then a righteous man named Joseph came and placed Jesus' body in a tomb. 3 days passed, and it seemed that there was no hope. But very early on Sunday morning, the woman who cared for Jesus went to go visit his body and found that his tomb was empty and that he was no longer there. "Don't be afraid," said an angel. "He is not here. He is risen." At this, the woman remembered that Jesus had told them that he would rise again on the third day. And ran to go tell the disciples what they had seen and heard.
Huh? Heyo! Ah!
And then for the next 40 days, Jesus appeared to his disciples and many others and showed them that he was alive and well. He taught them that what he did was the only way that they could be forgiven and be with God forever. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, so that everyone who believes in him will not perish but have eternal life.
That is fantastic. We do love the Saddleback Kids videos. Hey-o! I always like to say at the beginning.
Hey-o.
But Matt, tell me, what does that story have to do with our question from earlier about taking on new things?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ellie, as you know, Christians believe that the reason that Jesus allowed himself to be killed and then come back to life again was, as we just heard at the end of that video there, to give the opportunity for anyone who wants to, regardless to where they come from, how old they are, what they've done, to receive new life after death in the time to come and in their lives now, simply by believing in Jesus.
That is amazing, isn't it? That Jesus' death and him coming back to life again was actually all part of God's big rescue plan. So we can have new life with him. And just like we have been trying to maybe carry on with things during this pandemic that we started, Christians believe that this new life we have by believing in Jesus will also carry on now and into our future and even after our earthly life has ended.
Yeah, that's right. So just like all of the new things that we talked about earlier, which have come out of this current time of darkness across the world, Jesus brought the opportunity, the possibility of others receiving new life out of a time of darkness in his life by raising him or coming back to life or rising from the dead.
Amazing. But it wasn't easy for him to do that. We saw in that video just how difficult and terrible that was. Just like it maybe isn't easy for us to keep on going with those new things. It was a choice, and a choice that Jesus accepted. He accepted that challenge before him.
That's right. And that brings us very neatly on to our challenge for today. So what is our challenge today, Ellie?
Well, the challenge that we set all of you to try and complete this week is to remember Jesus' sacrifice this Easter. When you are tucking into your Easter eggs next weekend, think about what Jesus did in giving us new life. And if you want to know how I use a chocolate Easter egg to remember this story, what I do with the foil and then the chocolate egg, then you will have to have a look back at some of our other videos, because I share what I do with that in one of our question time videos on YouTube and in the assembly that was taking place about this time last year, all on the topic of hoping.
Yeah, and we will put the links to those in the comments later on after we finish this afternoon so that you don't go and watch that now. But as always, please let us know how you got on by commenting on this video on our Facebook page or YouTube channel, or by getting in touch via the usual email address to let us know how you got on with that challenge by remembering the new life that Jesus gives when you're tucking in to your chocolate eggs on Sunday morning.
Absolutely. But of course, Matt, don't forget, what about this week's extreme challenge?
Oh, yeah, I don't think we have one of those today, Ellie.
We don't? We always have one.
I'm joking. Of course we've got an extreme challenge. Here we go.
Extreme challenge. Extreme challenge. Go on then, Matt. Tell us what it is.
So the extreme challenge this week, this is quite an extreme challenge, okay? It is not just to remember what Jesus did to give us new life, but also to tell someone else who doesn't yet know this story about Jesus' death and resurrection, or his dying on the cross and coming back to life again, to tell them about this opportunity for new life, which might be quite difficult. Now, it could be anyone. It could be a friend, family member, your teacher, your shopkeeper, a neighbor, someone on the street, whoever it is, but choose someone to tell about this offer of new life. just like the disciples did after they met Jesus alive again for the first time.
That is fantastic. A tricky challenge, perhaps, but one that we hope you take on board. But now it is time for our reflection. So, as always, we like to end our assemblies with a time of quiet reflection. And if you want to, you can think about the stories you've heard, think about the challenges we have just set you. And if you want to join in with praying, then you can listen to the words I say. And at the end, if you agree, you can say Amen. So let's all have a quiet moment of reflection now. Dear God, thank you for the amazing Easter story. Thank you that your death on the cross and your resurrection means that we can have new life too. Please, God, help us all as we get closer to Easter to not just think about the spring chicks and the chocolate eggs, but to also think about the story we have heard today and help us to think about what it can mean for our lives and anyone else that we are challenged to share it with too. If you would like to agree, then you can all say Amen.
Well, thank you so much for watching today. We really appreciate everyone who watches us.
Absolutely. But before we go today, we do have time, of course, for some shout outs. Do you have your horn at the ready, Matt?
I do have a horn, but before you do that, I've just noticed, Ellie, that someone has been watching on YouTube while we've been broadcasting, and they have said that something they have done which is new this year is so many Zoom calls. And of course, that is true for everyone. We've done Zoom calls, we've done Teams, we've done Google Meets with schools all across the region, haven't we, Ellie?
Oh, so many. In fact, we are still doing some this week as we are going to be doing some in-person school visits, but still some online learning packs as well.
Very
so
true.
Thank you very much for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you, JC, whoever you are. JC, whoever they are, also says they're going to miss us and our thoughts at 3. Oh, thanks, JC.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I would like to do some shout outs. My first shout out is going to be for the school that I was at this morning. A big hello to Year R at Hightown Primary, who was learning all about this topic of new life. Hello to you.
And there is another Year R group tomorrow learning about new life with you again, Ellie, and that is the Year R's at Berrywood Primary School in Hedge End. So hello to you all at Berrywood.
And whilst I'm at Berrywood, I know Matt is going to be down the road at Foundry Lane Primary talking to all the Year 5s about this topic of a resurrection. Hello, Year 5s at Foundry Lane.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Year 5s. And also tomorrow, happening online, is a Year 1 and 2 Rownham's St. John's Day on Easter and why it matters to Christians. And we know that all of the guys there and girls at Random St. John's watch us every week. So special hello to all of you and hope you enjoy your pack tomorrow, Year 1 and 2.
We have got the Year 4s at Beechwood Juniors also taking part in one of our online Question of Faith days, and they are looking at Easter symbols. So we hope you enjoy that, Year 4 Beechwood.
And Caris, one of our other team leaders who you might have seen on our Meet the Team series last summer, is going to be in Mansbridge on Wednesday, doing a day with Year 1 all about key events in Jesus' life, which of course Easter was a very key couple of events in Jesus' life. So hello to all the Year 1s at Mansbridge.
And then I want to also say a big hello to Abbotswood Junior. Their Year 5s are going to be having an online session all about this topic of Easter and particularly the sacrifice that Jesus made. Hello, Abbotswood. Now, I'm afraid that was our last shout out and also our last Thoughts at 3 assembly. You see, with schools allowing visitors back in again, we are going to be in schools most week and doing some in-person assemblies there, which does mean we can't regularly be doing our online Thoughts at 3. So although there might be the occasional live streamed one, if maybe a school is visiting us and we want to get involved with that, it might be possible. But I am sorry to say that, yeah, we won't be back regularly after the Easter break.
Yeah, and just to clarify, the schools won't be visiting us. We'll be visiting the schools.
Oh, yes, of course.
But if you are a school that would love us to do a live assembly from your school premises, just like we did at Swanmore last Monday, then please get in touch, because I know all of the year ones loved that, and the parents especially loved watching them in that as well. Anyway, we just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has watched us over the last 12 months as we have created these 94 online assemblies, especially the 200 plus subscribers on our YouTube channel and all of our Facebook followers too, and people from lots of different parts of the country who have commented on, liked and shared these fun little videos that we have done with other people. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. But don't forget, of course, our YouTube channel isn't going anywhere. It is still there and still full of content for you to watch back. We've got all of our past assemblies still saved on our YouTube channel and our question time playlists. This is where we answer questions that you might have about faith and the Bible and God. And there may even be some more online content to be uploaded soon. So make sure you subscribe and watch this space.
Yes, absolutely. Now, as we finished our 10 Commandments series when we streamed live from Swanmore last week, that's another end. It's the end of the Cup Stacking Challenge. So everything is ending. The assemblies, what's up, Ellie?
Actually, we do have one more entry into the Cup Stacking Challenge.
Oh, okay. We still haven't got a jingle for that, sorry. But there's the leaderboard. It's me and Ellie at the top. Ladies before men, obviously. So we've got Ellie at the top with 44. We had Anne, who was our student placement from Winchester Uni, did 50 seconds. Jordan did 65. Mrs. Hughes and Lydia last week did not manage to complete when we did it live. But who have we got? Who have we got doing the challenge this week, Ellie?
So you might have met her before in school or on one of our assemblies, but our team leader, Teresa, wasn't impressed with this, didn't think she could leave Matt and me at the top. So she wanted to have her own go at the Cup Stacking Challenge.
Okay.
So let's see how team leader Teresa got on.
Hello, my name is Teresa and I am part of the schools team at Southampton City Mission. I've been watching Thoughts at 3 Assemblies and I thought I've just got to have a go at this Cup Stacking Challenge. I can't let Matt and Ellie sit there right at the very top of the leaderboard without at least having a go to see if I can do it faster. So wish me luck. Here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, breathe, and 10. According to my timer, that was 26.9 seconds. Let me just show you. The top there is still standing after 3 seconds. Way down to the bottom. Now, I have just been watching the assembly about telling the truth. I probably ought to admit that this was not my first attempt. I have been practicing, but it was my best attempt so far. So let's see if anyone else can do better.
Wow, well done, Teresa. 27 seconds. Very good job. I'm just going to give you a little fanfare. I can take the end off my hooter here and give you a little fanfare. You are officially the Cup Stacking Challenge of Spring 2021, Teresa. Well done. Big round of applause. I'm not at all bitter that I lost, or that you didn't use or that you used a special official speed cup stacking cups, because that didn't give you an advantage. Of course, no. But well done. Seriously, well done, Teresa. Great job.
Well done, Teresa. It was a fantastic effort. I know that Jordan is not very impressed with that either, because he did want to do better. He did actually do a better attempt, but obviously it wasn't timed, wasn't regulated, didn't make it onto the leaderboard. But you know what? If you are up for trying this challenge over the Easter holidays, we would still love to receive your submissions. Film yourself, email it to us. Maybe 27 seconds you could even beat to make sure that Teresa doesn't stay at the top of the leaderboard.
Absolutely. We could even start a new playlist on our YouTube channel. We'll have the Cup Stacking Challenge playlist on our YouTube channel. And we can do that in schools as well. So, yeah, maybe that's something we'll add to the YouTube.
Watch this space. But I'm afraid we really have come to the end of our assembly now. So all that leaves us to say is that we hope you have a great end of the spring term, those 3 or 4 days you've got left. We hope you have a lovely break over the Easter holiday. And of course, we really look forward to seeing you in schools during the summer term.
Yeah, thank you again for watching. Take care, stay safe, God bless, and happy Easter!
Bye, everyone!